Well, you're talking about the word removal and how, you don't want to dwell too much on that word. You say, let us wait until the president act otherwise against what he said. But do you think then that the debate could now be, if that happens, about whether or not it was a removal or whether it was just the law taking its course?
Yeah, it's just like I said, it could be by operation of the law. Operation of the law is that Jega has a turnaround appointment, and this is the time he's supposed to leave office, and he left office.
Do you think that the president should be a lot clearer in terms of what he means by, I will not remove Jega, or I have not told anyone I'm going to remove Jega? In other words, it will not be my removal, but if that is what the law says, then that's what the law says.
It could well be that, but the president does not have to give us all that detail. If for any reason that's what the law says, simply obey the law, and he leaves, if he must leave.
It would seem that it's 1 week, one controversy. I mean,
but that's happened. That's what happens.
That's how it goes on.
That's what happens in the political season.
For a lot of Nigerians, it's quite frustrating because what they really want to get to hear is, concrete things that they can hold either party to when they eventually get into office, if they get into office. That's what they want to hold on to.
Yeah.
But it would seem that these are the kind of debates that would generally dominate, the political space until we get to election day. So to ensure that we're able to get rid of controversies like this, do you think that we should get a firmer assurance from the president saying this is not about a removal? If I'm going to remove him, whether or not the law says so, for so and so reasons, he's going to stay to conduct these elections. Do you think that kind of assurance would be necessary?
I wouldn't know how to calculate the firmness of a statement or an assurance, but I have told you here that the president has assured the nation, the opposition party, that he is not about to remove Jega, at least using their own word. He's not about to remove them. But I think that what we should be talking about is that what do these political parties hold for the nation? As against, is an individual being removed or what is a distraction? Because what I think both the media, the public should bother about now, especially within this period that we have had this, 6 weeks break, as it were, from the general rallies, is what do you people need to give?
But that was what a lot of people thought about the postponement. The postponement talk was also viewed as a distraction, in fact, a needless distraction. And then before we knew what was happening, it picked up momentum and it was on and on and on before we knew what was happening. The Council of State was being convened to also discuss this particular matter. And then Jega also had to decide, and lo and behold, we had what we had, a postponement.
Yeah, sure, but that was the process.
So to ensure that this doesn't become that.
Yes.
And to say that there is actually no iota of truth, there is no wind pushing this particular ship. Can we remove the wind from its sail?
You see, we're going back to what I said I was avoiding in the situation where we are devoting so much time talking about this. The reason is this. There was a process that leads to that postponement. Now that we are linking Jega's removal to a postponement, kind of, or at least comparing them. The Council of State was summoned, and of course they gave their advice, asked Jega, go back, look, call your national commissioners or your resident electoral commissioners, put heads together, get back to us, and find out whether you are really ready to do this election. And Jega did the same thing. He held meetings with about 3 groups, political parties, his Rex and all of that. And he came out and said, we are not about to do this election now. Even though it's been misinterpreted. No, he was under pressure. He did it under duress and all of that. That is all gone. But the point we are making now is that this is the time you journalists, media people should begin to ask political parties, what is it that you are coming to do?
Well, we've been doing that for several weeks.
Yes.
And we will continue doing that.
Yeah, sure.
So that's why, part of why you were also here,
okay.
Because the APC has spoken about their manifesto. Mr. Money David did show us copies of his party manifesto, the APC. So tell us then, perhaps we should start with the power sector.
You see, first and foremost, let me lay a background that this idea of manifesto, of course, you and I do know that the days of ideology are gone. At least within the context of the Leninist and Marxist framework. What we now have is program of action, what a particular party can do. And like I've said on this platform, I'm a stakeholder in PDP. I can make that confession. But there is no difference between PDP and APC by way of population, those who populate PDP. Half of the people who are in APC today were members of PDP. Indeed, as a matter of fact, I think there are about 2.5 chairmen of PDP. Gamede Audogbe was the chairman of PDP. He's now in APC. Gamede, the same thing. And then the half chairman is the Baraje group that eventually got into PDP. And if you look at the hierarchy of APC, is peopled by PDP members or former PDP members. So in other words, it is the same people.
Is their program of action the same?
No. What we're not bothered about is that who are the people in this party and can we trust them? Because, like I've also said, it is not like you can drive through the country and you say, this particular state is being ruled by APC and therefore there is free education there. Free education is being given by both PDP and APC. Health facilities are being supplied by, or at least being built or being provided by both PDP and APC. But by way of program of action and manifesto, you find out that PDP is running on their programs. That is, they're campaigning based on what they have been able to do. APC is campaigning on what they wish to do or what they think PDP has not done well on. And that was why I was a little interested in when you were asking the last guest here, I said, what will be your manifesto with regard to security? That question was very direct. And he said, give jobs to people. Once you tackle the problem of unemployment, we are going to give jobs. And I thought the second question would have been, how are you going to give the jobs? And that brings me to the issue of debate. You see, campaign rests on two legs. One is a rally. The other one is a debate. You can't avoid the second one. The rally is what you want to do. You want the rostrum. I'm going to provide you people with 2 million jobs in 6 months. I'm going to raise the power supply to 10 megawatts, in less than 1 year and all of that. They don't have an opportunity of people asking you any questions because you are speaking to the people. In a debate, you speak with the people. And that is the time the question how comes in. And if anybody is avoiding a debate, it means that he is not very clear to him how he is going to do anything. Because you see, if we are 170 million people, and one person, George Eke, says, look, I want to superintend over and above the rest of the Nigerians, I should be such that if you wake me up from my sleep, I should be able to tell you what I want to do with the economy, what I want to do with security, what I want to do with healthcare, what I want to do with infrastructure, and what I want to do with agriculture and all of that. I shouldn't avoid debate. I should be able to think on my feet. That reason of the debate have been compromised because the questions have been leaked, it doesn't show intelligence. You are not telling me what the questions you are going to ask me here, but I'm going to address any question you are going to ask me. Anybody who is supposed to be a Nigerian president should be able to think on his feet, answer questions even from his enemies. So why do you want to avoid the debate? The reason is this, like I can tell you as a politician, is that they are probably trying to avoid the situation where probably some crack journalists will ask personal questions. Personal questions, e.g., you have a problem with, at least it is in court now, that you are supposed to have a minimum qualification of a school cert, or at least attempted school cert. We're not bothered about it. But the problem is that you did not submit that certificate that you claim you have. How can you continue to be president? It's a personal question, and it can be destabilizing. That is why they prefer to hold town hall meetings. I have been involved in town hall meetings. A situation where town hall meetings are usually choreographed. They are stage managed. You keep people in certain places and tell them what questions to ask. Indeed, the one I was involved in, somebody was asked to ask a question. We didn't know he wasn't part of us. And he asked a question that destabilized the principal. So town hall meetings are not, they are usually choreographed. They are
all of them?
This is quite,
well, most of them.
This is quite revealing.
Yeah, sure.
In other words, some politicians they sit pretty well, and the principal is there speaking, addressing the audience.
Yes.
And you have people planted right in
Oh,
there.
sure. Honorable Okonkwo should ask the question. The other honorable, whatever. So, as the moderator is speaking,
So the
so he made the
moderator
mistake
knows
of calling
who to-
one journalist, just asked one question. In short, the man was so uncomfortable, he didn't know what to do. So, town hall meetings, if anybody comes to tell you here that we are doing town hall meetings are usually stage managed. Where you have to ask questions and demand answers is in a debate. And you don't need to be giving the questions.
I think it's
assuming, for instance, your opponent have been given the question, go there and answer the questions. Like I said, if I want to be president of this country, I should be able to have answers to literally every
Mr. Eke,
question.
people will say that if town hall meetings can be stage managed, so can debates. It means there is absolutely nothing that cannot be stage managed, in the sense that if at the end of the day it's about people asking questions, the conversational attitude or the mood of a town hall meeting is to be in such a way that people are able to ask questions from the audience. If that is what you also get in a debate, why is it that people cannot be stage managed to ask questions from the audience?
That's the point I made now, that you see, if I am presidential candidate, for instance, I should be able to walk into, in short, call it a hostile ground, where somebody will say, George Eke, you said you are going to provide, you are going to, stop insecurity, that you have the key to this insecurity, that where so many Nigerians have died. What is it that you are going to do? And I should be able to say, A, I want to do this, B, I need to do that, C, I want to do this. You get the point? And other questions will come from those questions. You shouldn't bother who asked the question.
Why do you think
and you shouldn't bother whether those questions have been leaked to your opponent. Because there is no question they should be able to ask you that you don't have an answer to.
Why do you think that now your party is more ready, or your party's presidential candidate is more ready for a debate than he was in 2011?
You see, Margaret, I can admit this. The situations have changed. There is a contest now. Indeed, if it hadn't been this fear of violence, this is the most interesting part of our democracy, this election that is coming. Because any PDP person that tells you that he does not recognize the fact that we are in a contest is living in denial.
All right. That said, we're winding down, actually. Would you say your party has done very well in the power sector?
Yeah, sure, they have. Because you see, like I said regarding institutions, when you build institutions, a framework, a substructure, then you can put a superstructure on it. As it stands now, we have a solid substructure, which will take some time. If this substructure had been built maybe about 5-6 years ago by earlier administrations, we wouldn't be complaining about electricity. Jonathan has taken that bold step, and the results are just by the corner.
All right, Mr. George Eke is a member of the PDP and a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you so much.
Well, you can also go ahead and join or add a comment or two to that hashtag, We Demand Debates Now. We'll be back in just a moment. Join us again.